Welcome to a new episode on How To.
Today we're gonna explain how to do a good cornering. Corners is really important in motocross. Of course, it's really important to choose the good line, and also would say that inside is always the shortest way, which makes it also good, but not every time is the best. So choosing line is very important. For the best choice of the line is very important when you come into the turn, and overall in the track your eyes has to be watch in front, because it's not good when your eyes is just looking under the fender, just in front of the wheel, because then you cannot see which is the best line. So when you look in front, you see the good lines and you take a good choice, and that's how you become faster and faster.
Line choices can be difficult because they can change a lot over the moto, and yeah, you do a 30-minute moto, it can change many times, but the most important thing is to have your head up coming into the corner and kind of have an open mind to try new lines even. Sometimes there can be an outside line that is really smooth when the inside is way too bumpy, and that can even save you a lot of energy. So the overall thing is just to be aware, and even for practices you can try and variate and try different lines just to see what works best for you. On the 250 two-stroke, it's for sure important to keep the momentum up, and you would maybe want to prefer using the outside lines a little bit more, where the 450 has more torque and more power to kind of come in more straight, and you can maybe cut the corner short a little bit more on the 450. So I would prefer to keep using the outside lines a little bit more on the two-stroke and keep that momentum up all the time.
Don't forget that coming into the turn, you also have to think that when you take this turn, the next turn is coming. So you have to be on a good position already for the next turn. So it's very important to think ahead.
So coming into a corner, what I like to do is stand up for as long as possible through the braking bumps. And once you hit the berm, you sit down and kind of lean back and get the traction, especially in the sand. And what is also important for me especially is to kind of be quick on your feet. You want to stand up quick again, because normally there's a lot of bumps. And one thing that has also really been important for me is to, sometimes it's better, especially when you're practicing, to come in a little bit slower to a turn. And that makes you get the drive out of the turn even faster. And like what you lose coming in, you gain even more coming out of the corner. Choosing the right gear for the corner is very important. And you want to really learn the track first to kind of have it in your mind what gear you need to use. But other than that, you need to really feel the bike, and when it's pulling and when it's not. You can help the bike a little bit with the clutch, but with what I was talking about before, with coming in a little bit slower, that also helps you keeping the momentum up. And on that way, sometimes you can even ride a gear higher and keep the overall speed up.
It's quite important to not use too much of a clutch, because that brings you good traction and everything. Of course, you always need to have a little bit control on the clutch, but less is better. And for slow turns, it's quite important to be patient, because sometimes not the fastest, but just to be patient and don't make a big mistakes. It brings you overall good speed and good times. So it's very important to just sit on the right time by the turn. When all bumps are finished and everything, you just sit and slowly opening the throttle. It depends what you have in the back, or you have a rut or you have a berm, but overall you have to be quite smooth to not make big mistakes.
In fast corners, most of the time I like to stand up a lot, and I work a lot with my legs, trying really to squeeze the bike as much as possible to kind of keep the rear end stable. But yeah, also keep your upper body leaned over the bike to have like a little bit of traction on the front also, especially on sand tracks when they are really bumpy. For me, I just stand up the whole corner, but yeah, in tighter corners, of course, you need to sit down.
So in the standing position, you have to be sure that you keep your bike tight with your legs, and your position a little bit has to be on standing, a little bit in the front. Of course, elbow position is also important to keep your bike in the strength. In the fast turns, when you go fast, it's quite important to have a good feeling. The best way is to have your feet really on the toes. If it's bumpy turn, it makes second suspension, your legs are suspension more, your ankles. It makes a good feeling, and then you can hit the turn faster and faster.
That's it for another episode. I hope you guys learned something and you can use it on the track.
So now go to your local dealer and check out this new model.